to talk about how your diet should change as your body changes. When good foods aren't good, okay? And lastly, we're going to go and how to figure out exactly what's good underlined for you, okay? Eggs.
Right.
Benefits. Eggs are rich in vitamins A, B2, B5, B12, and folate. It's also rich in a mineral called selenium. Because it's rich in those minerals, vitamins A and folate specifically, it makes it great for the treatment of acne. It's also great for the treatment of adrenal hypofunction. Rich source of protein, good fats. On the topic of cholesterol, yes, it has cholesterol, but it's HDL cholesterol. Eggs aren't a problem. The only times they are a problem is if it's genetic hypercholesterolemia. Brassica family. Brassica family is cruciferous vegetables, which are things like Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, cabbage, and broccoli. What makes it good? It contains something called sulforaphane, a natural chemical that has anti-cancer, antimicrobial benefits, okay? It also contains something called indole-3-carbinol. What is that? It's a compound that helps with estrogen detoxification. So for women who have PMS or hot flashes or stuff like that, this is great. Now there are some drawbacks. Goitrogens are naturally occurring compounds in all of these vegetables that bind to iodine and therefore make it unavailable to use by the body, okay? What does that do? When you can't use iodine, it's bad for the thyroid. Tomatoes. Who says good?
Good and bad both.
Who says bad? Okay, here are the benefits. Somebody mentioned lycopene, which is a potent antioxidant. So it's a potent cancer-fighting antioxidant. It also protects your skin from UV radiation, so it reduces lines and wrinkles. Okay, but there are some drawbacks, as some of you mentioned. It's bad for some people's joints, not everybody. So what makes it bad? It contains chemicals, natural chemicals called alkaloids, which again can make arthritic pain worse in, I want to underscore, some people. Spinach. Who says good?
Good.
Who says bad? So here's the benefits of spinach. One is low in calories, which makes it great for fat loss. So it fills you up without giving a lot of calories. Very rich source of vitamin K, so it can actually help with bone strengthening. It also helps with blood clotting. Okay, so if your blood takes too long to clot, spinach is a good remedy for that. It also contains a compound called sphingolipids. Vegetables are low in fat, but sphingolipid is a fat actually contained in spinach that makes a myelin sheath around the nerves. Drawbacks. It contains a natural chemical called purines. Okay, purines, they can make gout worse. So we had eggs that can make gout worse, but purines can too. It also contains naturally occurring substances called oxalates that's what we talked about. Oxalates can actually make kidney stones worse. Chicken. Who says good? Who says bad? Something about chicken, a rich source of vitamin B3, niacin. It's also a very rich source of selenium. Again, selenium is a precursor to glutathione. You need it to make glutathione. Okay? What's it good for? It's excellent for thyroid function. Drawbacks of chicken. Due to its relatively high content of arachidonic acid, okay, which is a saturated fatty acid, it may make psoriasis worse. Okay? Raw versus cooked. Who says raw foods are better? Who says cooked foods are better? All right. Raw food has high nutrient density, which means it has a lot of nutrients without a lot of calories. There are drawbacks of raw food. It can be difficult to digest. If you have a sensitive or a weak digestive system, this can be bad for you. It can irritate you even more. In excess, it will suppress hormone production. So vegetarians have lower levels of testosterone, lower levels of estrogen, lower levels of DHEA, lower levels of cortisol. And lastly, you can get memory problems. Okay, if you eat exclusively raw or too much raw. Reason being is that you need cholesterol to make every cell in your body. If you don't have enough cholesterol, you develop memory problems. Benefits of cooking. Makes food safer, so it decreases contamination. It can reduce spoilage, okay, so you can keep food longer if you cook it, and it improves digestibility. There are drawbacks of cooking, and that's, as you mentioned, nutrient losses. White sugar, the devil.
Yeah.
So we know the drawbacks of high sugar. We don't need to go through it, but we will. Highly addictive. Sugar depletes lots of nutrients. Causes hormone imbalances. The first hormone it messes up is insulin, and every hormone affects every other hormone. You mess up your insulin, you mess up your thyroid, you mess up your cortisol, you mess up your leptin, you mess up a lot of other ones. There are benefits to white sugar, besides the taste. Drops cortisol fast. It does a lot of good things. It makes you wake up, it makes you go to bed. It makes you overcome stress. It gives you energy, okay? So how do you figure out what is right for you? Listen to your body. And I know that's a big statement, so I'm going to give you a step-by-step approach of how to listen to your body. First of all, create a 1-week food log that looks like this. That's one way of figuring out exactly what's good for you and what's bad for you. And remember, as your body changes, so should your nutrition. There is one other way. Diagnostic tests are one, so you run your blood work, you run maybe a few other tests. If they tell you something's wrong, well, change what you're eating. And the other one is symptoms. And how do you know what to change? Usually whatever you eliminated is missing, So that's what's time to add back in. Whatever you increase should probably decrease to a more moderate level. Not eliminate, but decrease. Okay?